Hi folks, Tim here again with timsclass.com. Today we're going to cover two things. We're going to cover files and we're going to cover this hydraulic jack. So let's just start out with the files. You notice we got a bunch of different ones here. Uh, Basically they're classified by their profiles. If you look over here, this little grouping, you can see these are all half rounds. So if you look at it from that angle, you can see it's a half round file. Now it's got a flat side and it's got a half round side. Okay, this is just a small one. Each of these can be put in a handle. You can look over here and see that this handle right here actually loosens up and you can pull this off and put it on any one of these files, okay? So that gives you an idea of just basically how this works. So we start out here with half rounds as far as the profiles go. Then we move over here to flat files, and I think the name pretty well explains itself. These are flat files. And they can be mill, they can be, there's a bunch of smaller classifications, but for the most part, we're just gonna call them flat files. Then you have your round files. You can see here, it's round. These are used primarily for like chainsaws, if you want to sharpen a chainsaw blade, something of that nature. All right, then we come over here to a triangular file. Sometimes they call these a cut file, and we'll illustrate this in a minute. And then last but not least, this is actually a rasp, and this is used primarily for wood. So you can see it's real rough textures on these rasp sides. And then of course you've got right here what they call a bastard. It's the actual name for it, where you're crisscrossing is very aggressive metal, okay? So let's just come on down back over to this side and we'll illustrate how some of these work. So we've got this particular one would probably be considered I don't know, I would say probably a smooth file. And we're gonna run it across this piece of metal I've got right here and show you what it would be used for. So let's just start right here. You can see how aggressive that is as we cut down through there. And that's gonna waller out a spot in a half round, okay? And it's one thing you need to note when you're using these files, always just go one way. You're pushing away from it, okay? So that's your half round. If we come to our flat file, and this one's got a very smooth finish, I could take and use that to just smooth off these corners. And make that a much smoother corner as opposed to as sharp as this is over here. Right, if we move to the round file, let's just take this one and I'll show you how that would actually cut out a round profile. All right, you can see how it dipped out and cut a little round profile in the metal. The cut file or the triangular file does just that. And you can see how we've cut out almost like a tooth out of that. And that's primarily what they use these for, is cutting teeth into things. I don't have a piece of wood to illustrate the wooden rasp, but needless to say, if you rub that on a piece of wood, it's going to take out quite a bit of wood. And that pretty well sums it up on the files. Machinists use these to finish up work. They're not a primary tool. In other words, they're going to use power tools to get the metal to primarily where they want it, and they'll make adjustments to the metal, trying to get it exactly the profile they want with these files. So just keep that in mind. All right, last tool we're going to cover in this brief video. This is a hydraulic jack. Hydraulic just simply means powered by fluid, okay? And there's an oil that's in this that causes this to work. And this particular is called a bottle jack. It can lift up to 20 tons, so that's 40,000 pounds. If you think about your truck, it's probably somewhere around 10,000 pounds. So this little bottle jack right here could pick up 4 trucks, if that gives you any idea of what these are capable of. People use them to pick up a house if they're gonna move it. They'll use them to raise it up off the foundation and then put steel beams under it to raise it up and move it off the foundation. But the process is very simple. You've got a little gear right here that when you pull it to the right, I'm gonna pull it to the left right now, that actually lets go of the fluid, it releases it so it comes back out. So if I turn it all the way to the right and tighten it down, I can take my handle, let's flip it around the other way, and I can start jacking, and you'll see it's starting to come up very, very slowly. They're not designed to work fast. Okay, and that can pick up a whole lot of weight. You'll see a lot of machinists have these configured into what they call a press, a shop press, and they'll have this on a steel beam, and they can use this to actually break or bend metal. So, very powerful tool. To release it, all I do is put this in, turn it back a few turns to the left, never go more than 3, and I can push it down by hand, okay? That puts it back to the position. You don't want to leave it in the loose position, so you want to turn around, tighten it back up. And that's it for the bottle jack. They make these in all different sizes, as many as you can imagine. I've seen them as big as 150 tons. So, great tool to have in your arsenal if you're ever trying to raise something up. Hope you got something out of the lesson today. Y'all have a good day.